Good morning and welcome to Zoom with Czarny. I'm Dustin Czarny, Democratic Elections Commissioner for Onondaga County, and this is my weekly interview show where I talk to candidates and democracy advocates. This week, I'm talking to two wonderful candidates in the town of Salina. Haley Downs running for 1st District Council in Salina, and Leesa Paul running for 2nd District Council in Salina. Those of you who have been paying attention to my weekly walk see that Salina is actually a fairly Democratic town, but it has been represented by all Republicans for several years now. So these two ladies have a great opportunity. Leesa Paul came very close to winning 2 years ago and is running again. And Haley Downs is running for the first time, but in that race in the 1st district 2 years ago, we came very close to winning that one as well. So check out that interview. I think you're going to be very impressed with these two ladies who can be great advocates. We are in the election season, and that's why this is dropping on Friday instead of Thursday. I'm just running a little bit behind because of all the work I'm doing here at the Board of Elections. We're getting ready for that general election. Absentee ballot deadline is this Monday if you're requesting by mail or online. That is this Monday, although you can request an absentee ballot in person all the way up until November 6th. Early voting will start a week from tomorrow. I'm sorry, week from tomorrow. So, week from tomorrow, we're going to be ready. So you can check that out at onvote.net and get all your information there. And of course, the voter registration deadline is also a week from tomorrow. So big deadlines coming up, especially next week. So check that all out. All right, great. Stay tuned for my interview with Haley Downs and Leesa Paul, town Democrats running for the town of Salina. Bye-bye. And we're back, and I'm very happy to have my friends, Leesa Paul, who's running for Salina Town Council, as well as my new friend, Haley Downs, who's also a first-time candidate for Salina Town Council. Leesa, you ran a couple of years ago, came very close. You're running for the 2nd ward. That's correct, right? And Haley, you're running for the 1st ward in Salina. Viewers may remember that Salina is one of only 2 towns that actually have a ward system in place where the voters choose their representatives not townwide, but within neighborhoods. And the 1st and 2nd wards of Salina, which are right now, all 4 wards are represented by Republicans and a Republican supervisor. But the 1st and 2nd ward of Salina, traditionally, we've had a lot of good luck in really close races on that. 2 years ago, both of these were very close. And now we really believe we have a good chance at this. And that's why Leesa and Haley have come on the show to tell us a little bit about themselves and their race. So Haley, you start in the 1st ward, so we'll start with you. But why don't you introduce yourself to voters? Tell us, who is Haley Downs?
Hello, my name is Haley Downs. I am a lifelong resident of Liverpool. I grew up off of Buckley and Bailey Road. Now I'm in the village of Liverpool. I have got all my schooling from the Central New York area. I got all my degrees from Syracuse University. I have been in education for 13 years. I am currently a vice principal at Grant Middle School. Before that, I was a coach and a teacher. And currently I serve on the Liverpool Board of Education.
A very noble endeavor. By the way, Grant Middle School, my daughter went through Grant Middle School many, many years ago. But
Probably still looks the same.
Yeah. Leesa, you're running for the 2nd ward in the town of Salina. Tell us, I know you ran 2 years ago, but it's your first time on the program. Tell us a little bit about yourself and who's Leesa Paul.
Okay, my name is Leesa Paul. I grew up off of Long Branch Road, Ward 1. And then 30 years ago this weekend, well, October 8th, 30 years ago, we bought our house and got married in the same weekend, and we've been residents of Ward 2. I teach an impaired driver program at BOCES. Not a class you want to claim to be in my class. It's a drug or alcohol offense. I started a not-for-profit when my husband Doug had a massive stroke, and it's an information and referral program. And my background is social work, and I got my degree from Syracuse University.
And so now both of you are running for town council, but or town board. I forgot how they say it in Salina. But in these odd years, these town races tend to be forgotten, definitely by the media and sometimes by the voters, and because people don't realize how much it actually affects them. I think that the town boards and city councils, they are in your everyday life and making decisions about your everyday life. So Leesa, we'll start this off with you. Tell us a little bit about why voters should care about candidates for town board.
Because the candidates are what helps mold the community and the town itself. I apologize for my dogs. I have 2 dogs. It's your voice, and it's kind of where I went with social work, why I went into social work. It's giving the people a voice. And with your elected officials, we're helping give that voice to residents of the community. And again, I apologize for my dogs. And I think when there's something that you want in your community, whether it be the trash, whether it be a stop sign, slower speed limits, those kind of things are what happen in your town. Plowing, highways, roads. It's all things that happen in the town and where we could help.
Yeah, and it's it's retail politics, especially town boards in wards, which are less than a hand. I think it's like in your case in Salina, we're talking about 4,000 voters or so that are in this ward, which inside the city of Syracuse might be a ward itself. Just a small community. So it's really a small amount of area that you are running in. And Leesa, before we move on to Haley, the second ward, what communities in Salina does that cover?
It covers the Pitcher Hill area, Oot Meadows, Hopkins, Jewel Manor, Chestnut Hill, Chestnut Heights area, parts of Old Liverpool Road, parts of Buckley. We kind of go in a snake in those few areas where you think it all goes in a row. And then off of Henry Clay Boulevard.
And Haley, the first ward, that's mainly the Liverpool area, the village of Liverpool and the surrounding areas. Is that correct? Any other areas that?
Correct. Yeah, like down 370, it includes, I know most people think of that like as going towards Ballinsville, but still included in Liverpool. So yeah.
And obviously the village of Liverpool, big win for Democrats earlier this year, and they were on, and a lot of changes happening there. But Haley, why do you think voters should think about the town board and what and why does this race matter?
I absolutely echo all the sentiments that Leesa shared, right? You're also part of the community. So, right, we are experiencing successes and challenges and issues all firsthand, just like all of the other residents right along, elected officials. So we are right in the midst of it all. I also think my background kind of ties into this. I was a former social studies teacher. I taught middle school social studies for a number of years, and I pushed voting, and I think that the biggest lesson I probably instilled in them was to vote in local elections. Not that presidential elections don't matter, but local elections, those people. Who you can reach out to, who you can kind of rely on for support. So again, just making sure, you're a pillar of the community, you represent the community, your voice in that community.
So now that you've told us, what the job is, I think people want to know, you're busy. This is not a job that is going to pay you very well or very little at all, but you're going to be spending a lot of time doing it. But so I guess, the question is, why are you running? Haley, you're running for the first time for this, but you've run for school board before. And Leesa, this is your second time running. Why are you running for this position? And what are some of the issues in Salina that you're hoping that may have caused you to decide to run? We'll start with you, Haley.
Okay, so when I was looking at some statistics of Salina, 54% of the population is female. Right now on the board, it is currently an all board male. So this kind of ties into not like an issue, but just making sure that the board is inclusive, and right, you want your board to be representative of your population. So I think getting some females on the board is super important. Also, like I said, I have instilled in students the importance of just local politics and local happenings. So do you want me to go into the issues now too? Okay. I know it's like a two-part question, so I wanted to make sure. I guess not so much the issues, but my platforms. The first one I already kind of alluded to is just inclusivity, just making sure, right, that we are listening to all constituents, all stakeholders, making sure that they are involved in shared decision making, make sure that there is opportunities for listening sessions and feedback. Another big thing is supporting the community. That is right, making sure that there is funding for parks and supporting the programs that already exist, like the veterans program and the programs with senior citizens, making sure, right, we're being financially responsible and making sure that we are leaving Salina in a financial, like, best state that it can be part of. And then also just, effective and open communication. So that is everything from making sure that people have access to the meetings, to making sure that I am responding when there are questions, concerns, and just overall listening and making sure, again, that those perspectives are brought back to the board. So it's not just my own, and it's not just the people sitting on the board, but the community as a whole.
And Leesa, same question to you. Why are you running again? And what are some of the issues that you may have spurred you to do that?
I'm running because I want to make a difference. I want to help people. I've listened to people when I've been going door knocking, hearing their concerns. And one of my big things is transparency. We used to have Town of Salina used to have recordings of the board meetings, and now we don't. But I started a YouTube channel, and we have those meetings online now, so anybody can get them. I've been putting them in the neighborhood groups, and they're available because people don't know what goes on at a board meeting. People that I've met, some are afraid to go to board meetings because they're intimidated just by the word and don't know what the expectation is when they're walking in the doors. And I've actually met a few people and walked them in and, let them experience the board meetings. But not everybody can be at a Monday night board meeting at 6:30. And, I really want it to be available to everybody. And I want people to have a voice. I want people, when you have a problem, to be able to voice that opinion. And not everybody has the 9 to 5 ability to have office hours and make your comments heard to somebody. And I think that if we did like a Zoom where people can interact and have conversations with their people, their ward leaders, I think that would benefit people. And I echo what Haley said as far as inclusivity and diversity, as far as having women on the board. And for me, it's an age thing too. I'm older than most of the board members, well, probably all of them, and Haley. So there's that too. So I can bring knowledge and experience as well.
Yeah, I wanted to drill down on that. And I'm glad both of you kind of brought this up about the transparency. Because, in 2020, during the pandemic, there was a lot of funds available, and to make live streaming and recordings of town board meetings, Zooms, all of that happened because we were stuck in our homes. And that was under a different supervisor. But then when this supervisor came in 2 years ago, all of a sudden, all of the infrastructure that was put in place just stopped. And it seemed like it wasn't even a vote of the town board that did this. It was just the actions of the supervisor, and the town board didn't do anything to override that. Although one of the town board members, Dominic Cicerelli, I don't think either of you are running against him. He's in
It's Daniel, sorry.
Daniel, sorry. Daniel Cicerelli brought it up, several times, that not only did it stop, but all the past recordings on the official Thomas Salina's YouTube channel, all of those recordings were just deleted. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. I'll give you both a little chance to comment on that. I'm sure this will be like one of the things that you're going to try to address, but specifically that seemed very weird because, in the city of Syracuse, everything is recorded, and that's where I live. Even the county legislature has, it was hard to get there, but now the recordings are there, and every meeting is being recorded. So do you know why the town of Salina made this decision? I'll start with you, Leesa. And what do you think about that decision?
I don't know why, but I did go to a board meeting and stand up and say, I volunteer to videotape these to have put on the website, the Salina Town website. And Nick said, you're not going to get paid. And I said, I understand, not looking for pay. I'm willing to do this. And I was told that, they'd be in touch with me and everything. And weeks went by. And I said, you know what? I'm filming these. They're on my phone. He didn't say, no, I couldn't film them. And I started a YouTube channel just because we got to bring it back. And they have the camera equipment. It's there. It was bought.
And so, Haley, what did you think about that? Well, I mean, I know you're on a school board, and I believe your school board has recordings of your. No, they don't even there. Okay, so, but what do you? Obviously, though, you're not. The school boards are nonpartisan, whereas this is a partisan board. What do you think about this apparent switch back to against transparency?
Right. My background, right, again, is the school board. So we just wanted to make sure that we were complying with educational law, and everything has to be ADA compliant. So by us recording it and not having captions and things like that on it, we weren't in compliance. So we want to make sure, right, that we are always in compliance, making sure that we are making it accessible to everybody. So I would love to do that for Town of Salina board. I can't comment on why they stopped recording it. I do wonder if there is a component to some type of law to making sure, right, once these are uploaded, everybody does have equal access to it. So I do want to get further into the weeds and look into that.
Yeah, I obviously, ADA compliance is something that is very important, but so, now I'd like to just kind of go into, if the people are going to elect you, besides this transparency issue that we nailed down on, what are some of the other things that you want to focus on as a Salina Town Board member in your first term, if the voters are willing to put you in and represent you? We'll start with you, Haley.
So like I kind of alluded to before, right, that open effective communication, making sure that I'm visible in the community, making sure that I'm going to events so people have a chance to talk with me. Again, that supporting the community, making sure that there's funding for programs for all of the town of Salina. And then really just making it inclusive, making sure that our policies and procedures, right, are inclusive for everybody, making sure that constituents know how to get in contact with all of the board members, that we are listening to them, that we are including them in shared decision making, making sure that if there are any questions or concerns that we are addressing them.
And Leesa, if the voters are so lucky to elect you to the second ward,
I would
what would you like to do?
I would like to have town hall meetings like the third ward does, where the community comes together once a month. And you have topics, but you also have an opportunity for people to share within the community what's going on. And I'd like to attend more, neighborhood groups, neighborhood watch groups, and be in touch with people. I don't want to be the board member that's only a board member when you're sitting on the board. I want to be in the community, and if you need something, you see me at a grocery store, I might not be able to solve that problem, but I want to be there for you and listen to you and hear you. What else did I want? As far as other things that I would like to do, the employees, when it's star time and the seniors are coming in to fill out paperwork, I'd like to be able to offer them some support as far as helping with the paperwork and getting people prepared for what they need to have to make it an effective trip to the town of Salina. So if you need, documents X, Y, and Z, I'd love to have a time for people to ask, and I can help them sort through the paperwork, have it in order, and then take it up to the windows and be well prepared and, give it empowerment for them and advocate for them.
So, we're kind of getting towards the end of the podcast. This has been great. I'm gonna put links to your bios and in your Facebook pages, so people can get to know you. When this airs, is we're going to be very close to early voting. And although there was early voting at Salina Town Hall for the primary, in the general, that was only for the primary because there was a primary for supervisor up there. In the general, early voting will be, for Salina residents, you'll be able to go to either the North Syracuse Community Center, which is right outside on the east side of Salina, or to Lysander Town Hall or Clay Town Hall, or into the city for those that are in the Mattydale area, and also the shopping the Shop City area there back there, the Linkcourt area. That they can come into the city to Armand Magnarelli or go anywhere. But voting is about to start soon. So I'm going to give you a chance to give your last impression to the voters. I call this segment "What Haven't We Talked About?" So it's a free for all. You tell us a little bit about something that maybe we haven't touched on. Some people want to know about you. Tell us about your dogs, Leesa. Whatever you want to tell us. The floor is yours. Here's your final chance to the voters, Leesa. We'll start with you, and then we'll go to you, Haley. Leesa, what haven't we talked about?
I am UAW Region 9 endorsed and Eleanor's Legacy endorsed. My husband suffered a massive stroke, and I started a not-for-profit based on there not being services like support groups and just advocacy. So I started that and do more information and referral, but that's what I feel like I can bring to the community. Where there's a need, I feel like I can help people get that need filled and make it a smoother process.
And Haley, what haven't we talked about that you'd like to let the voters know about?
Let's see. Outside of the school day and school board, I am an avid runner. Most people can probably find me running at Onondaga Lake Park or around the village of Liverpool with a quick stop at a local bakery or coffee shop. On top of all that, my passion is truly with education. So I do serve as a volunteer for Girls on the Run. So if you're not familiar with that program, it is a 3 through 8 program that teaches young women skills such as problem solving, goal setting, all while training for a 5K. And then I also serve as an advisor for Gamma Phi Beta sorority at SU. I've been doing that for about 10 years. So I have quite the range of stakeholders that I work with, and I am just excited and ready to go out into the community.
Awesome. Well, you're both fine candidates. I know you're running hard. You're doing your campaigning, and these are very winnable districts. So I'm very happy to see you out there and putting your name forward. I also want to thank you. It's hard to run for office, and a lot of people, choose to sit on the sidelines. But you said no, not me. I'm going to get in there and try to make this work. So I really appreciate that decision, and putting your families on hold for a while you're campaigning, is really tough. And also, you're going to be putting in a lot of hours if you win, because constituent service is something that both of you have mentioned, but also something that is supposed to be done with the job, and it really doesn't pay for it. So I'm really glad that you're in this. I'll put all your show links, all your links for your Facebooks and everything right in the profile. But thank you so much for coming on Zoom with Czarny, and good luck this fall.
Thank you, Dustin.
Thank you.
And that was my interview with Haley Downs and Leesa Paul, great Democrats running in the town of Salina. If they win, the Democrats could have an interesting time on the town board there, because they'd have 2 of the 5 seats, but there's some infighting with the Republicans there, so it could lead to a coalition government. So I hope that the people out in Salina give them a fair shot, and they'll be they'll be on the ballot and out there knocking doors all the way. As I said in the opening, absentee ballot deadline is Monday. Requesting by mail or online. Early voting starts a week from tomorrow, the 28th. That is also the voter registration deadline in person. It has to be received by the 28th. So if you're thinking about doing it online, do it today. Get it done. You can go to onvote.net and get those applications. Next week, my commissioner in the car on Tuesday, we'll be talking about early voting and the voter registration deadline. And then on my Zoom with Czarny next week, I'll actually have 2 Zoom with Czarnys. I'll have a Zoom with the Camillus Democrats and a Zoom with the Cicero Democrats. So those are both happening next week. One will be on Thursday, one will be on Sunday. I will not be doing a weekly walk next weekend, but this weekend coming up, I'll be doing my next to last weekly walk for the election season, talking about Onondaga County Legislative District 15. That I've been promising that's this weekend. I missed it last weekend, but I did my Czarny seminar last weekend. So as always, go to dustinczarny.com and you can connect with me on all my socials. By the way, I launched a TikTok. Just getting ready for next year. I know a lot of young people want some information. I'm going to try to expand my horizons a little bit there. So check that out. And but go to dustinczarny.com. You can subscribe. You'll get all your information, election news, everything for free. And I'll never have ads, and I'll never charge. It is something I pay for myself as a part of my voter education for Onondaga County. So take care and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye-bye.